We currently have a 12-person sales team, and I probably read 30 plus books and talked to multiple different 8 and 9-figure business owners on how to manage a sales team. And in this video, I'm going to walk you guys through how we manage our sales team and how we found success. And it usually boils down to these 4 things. So let's go ahead and begin. Number 1, I want to talk about daily huddles. So what is a daily huddle? A daily huddle is a time that you get all of the sales reps together on a call, and you guys are just meeting as a sales team. And so the way that we manage our daily huddles is at noon, so from 12 Eastern to 1 Eastern. And the reason why we do it in the middle of the day, and a lot of people have asked me like, hey, how come you guys don't do it in the afternoons? How come you guys don't do it in the morning? Usually it was where a lot of people do their daily huddles, is in high ticket sales. And when we have our sales reps, they're going through and taking 6 calls a day, maybe 2 or 3 calls in the morning, 2 or 3 calls in the afternoon. And I want the sales huddle as a way to energize them and uplift them, because if you think about the KPIs in sales, most of it, around 20, 30, 40%, most of us are around that if they're doing really good. So that means the majority of people are telling you no, you're handling objections, you're spending about an hour diving deep into a client's business and going through the pitch and objection handling and all those things. It can be draining. So I like to use our huddle as a way to energize our closers and our sales reps and our setters so that they have energy for the afternoon calls. So I'd rather them use their mornings to get themselves energized, go through their morning routines, take a couple calls, and then in the middle of the day, we can re-energize them for the afternoon calls. Now, what happens in the huddle itself? So the way that I like to structure it is everyone comes on and we hear from everybody. So I run the meetings, and so, hey, John, how's it going? Let's hear from John. Dave, how's it going? Let's hear from Dave. And so what we do is we've trained them to come in, and first we start with wins. So remember, going back to that energy, what I like to do is just hit with a win, because a lot of times it can be like, yeah, I had this guy and he was really tough, and it just brings the energy down in the call. So we start with wins, and then the second thing that they share is their updates on how they are progressing with the one thing. Now, the one thing could be for the entire company. So every now and then what we do, like once a month, we do a week-long point of emphasis. So if you go and look at the NFL referees do this a lot, and every single year they have a point of emphasis. So like their point of emphasis could be pass interference. So you know that they're gonna probably call more flags on pass interference, or it could be roughing the passer. That's their point of emphasis, that they know that if you rough the passer, or if it looks like you're roughing the passer, you're going to get more flags. So it's a point of emphasis and things that they're looking at to improve on. And so in our company, what we do is we normally, every now and then, once a month, we have a point of emphasis. And so that week I'm asking them, hey, give me an update on your point of emphasis. And then the other weeks I'm asking them, what is the one thing that you know that you could be doing that will increase your close rates and will help you get 1% better each day? They're either giving us an update on their point of emphasis or what they are specifically working on. So that's like the first half. We hear from everybody, and then we go into announcements. And so that's where I give any announcements of like anything that's happening in the business, any updates that I need to give them, any feedback from the operations team that I need to give to the sales team. And then I open it to Q&A, and then we do Q&A if anybody has questions, maybe different scenarios that someone had on a call, and we kind of walk through that of a question of like, hey, is this person a good fit? Is this person not a good fit? What would you do in this situation? Hey, this payment link's not working. So any questions that they have. That usually takes about 30 minutes. And remember, these daily huddles are about an hour long. And then the next 30 minutes, what I do is I split the team up, and we have our inbound appointment setters, almost like SDRs, and then we have our closers. And so I split the team up. We have our appointment coordinator. She manages the setters, and the setters go with the appointment coordinator, and then they do training. So this last half is training. And so what I do with the closers, me specifically, is I go with the closers and the setters and the closers. What we do is we either look at objections, like handling objections and new objections and role plays, call reviews, and we do call reviews specifically, like specific section. So I like to break up the sales call into 3 sections. One is the discovery. So we look at the discovery, questions you're asked, should you gone deeper? Number 2 is the pitch. How did you pitch this person? Should you have said this? Should you have said that? And then the close. So like after the prices drop, what objections are you handling? What objections are you going through? And so we usually look at one of those 3 sections. So really quickly, daily huddles, we go over wins and projections, questions, announcements. That's the first half. Second half, we split up, and then we go either into some training, role play, or we look at call reviews. We do call review training. And so that's how we have ran our daily huddles, and it works extremely well. I've recommended this to a couple of other companies that maybe meet once a week. And once they started doing daily huddles, they see their performance in their setters and their closers increase just from implementing this this one thing, this daily huddle. And so number 2 is one-on-one accountability meetings. Now, the way that we run our meetings is we do it every 2 weeks or every month. And so what I do is I meet with every single person on the team, and I do a couple of things. One is I look at their results. If they're within KPI and they're meeting their results, then that meeting is going to be really short. I'm going to pat them on the back and say, hey, good job, keep up the great work. Now, what I like to do is if their KPIs and the results aren't where they need to be, then we're going to start looking at like what activities have produced those results. And I'm going to start asking them questions. Are you doing the things that you know you need to be doing, that the company requires you to do? Submitting end-of-day reports? Are you submitting your sales call notes? Are you following up? Are you using our follow-up tracker? Are you doing the pre-call engagement before you get someone, like let's just say it's Tuesday, you got someone that's booked on a calendar on Thursday. Are you messaging them? So that's like the pre-call engagement. Are you doing all of those specific activities? And then I ask them a question off that, and based off of their answer, I'm going to get a pretty good understanding of, are they putting in the work that they need to produce the results that they need, and it just, for whatever reason, just hasn't hit. And if I don't feel confident in that, then I'm going to go into their specific activities, and I'm going to look at why their activities are not producing the results. The last thing that I want to do is be a micromanager. So I do these things in 3 steps. Number 1 is if your KPIs are good, pat you on the back, good. If your KPIs are not good, I'm going to start asking you questions about, hey, what are you doing? Are you doing everything that you're supposed to be doing? I'm going to pull up everything. I can see everything in real time, and we'll go through and like, hey, what's going on with your follow-up? What's going on with your pre-call engagement? What's going on the calls? And then, okay, cool. I think you're doing everything that you should be doing. Pat you on the back. You're on your way. And then based off of that question, then I'm going to start doing some more like micromanaging and coaching. And then we're going to create an action plan and an action item list. Like, hey, these are the 3 things that we need to improve before our next one-on-one accountability. So the closers and the setters, they understand that we are going to have these meetings either monthly or weekly. So they understand they're being held accountable to their results. And sometimes we have hard conversations inside of those meetings, and that's okay, because the performance that I've seen from those accountability meetings, just like the next week or the next 2 weeks, you can see like a rep just like, okay, really shift gears and like, okay, I need to start performing. And then all of a sudden they start seeing their KPIs start to shoot up and their closes start to come in, or they're booking more appointments. And so those are really good to have in place every 2 weeks or every month. And then number 3, end-of-day reports. I recommend that everybody implements this. I even do an end-of-day report, and I'm one of the co-founders in my company. And I do an end-of-day report just for me personally to be able to go back and see, am I holding myself accountable to what I'm supposed to be doing? Now, in these end-of-day reports, what I recommend that you have for sales reps is things like, how many sales calls did you take? How many of those calls showed up? How many of those calls that showed up did you pitch? So that would give you your offer rate. You would look at the quality of calls that you had. I have our sales reps list out all of the calls that they had, and then specifically what objections they had if they did not close. How many people closed? What was the cash that was collected versus the revenue that was collected? And then another thing that I like to do is ask them like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel like you performed today? What was your energy like? Did you do the things that you said you were going to? Did you keep promises to yourself? And then overall, how did you feel? And then at the end of the end of day report, I asked them like, hey, did you confirm all the appointments for tomorrow? Did you submit the sales call form for all of your sales? And so reminding them of the things that they need to do at the end of the day, and it almost acts like an end of day checklist. So that's end of day reports. And number 4 is call reviews. Now, if you're a manager, if you're an owner, what I would recommend is that you do call reviews consistently for every single one of your reps, either a setter or a closer. You could do it every 2 weeks, you could do it a week, but you want to give that feedback. Someone who's coming from the outside looking at their calls and giving them feedback specifically based off of the objection handling phase, pitch phase, discovery phase, and giving new insights in ways that they potentially could have taken the call, or saying, hey, you did this really, really well. Make sure you do more of that. Now, call reviews is something that we also recommend that our inbound appointment setters or closers or whatever salesperson they are doing at least 1 per week. And so what they do is they hop on Zoom, they pull up the recording, and they record themselves watching their recording. And then what they do is they pull 3 things that they feel like they've done really, really well on, and 3 things that they feel like they need to improve on, and then 3 action items from that call. And so those action items, what they do is they look at those, and what they should be doing is drilling after they've gone through and studied that call, have these action items, and they're drilling those before they get on the next call the next day, or the next couple of days if it's over a weekend. And so they're using that as a way to continually get 1% better every single day. And those call reviews, I've set a precedent in our company at least 1 per week. However, the top reps at our company are doing 1 per per day. And we've communicated that throughout the entire company. And now majority of all of our reps are doing 1 call per day. And so what they're looking at is, their discovery, their pitch, and their objection handling, and what things they may have missed, what things they've done really well, so that they can improve every single day and build on the skills that they've developed last week, yesterday, or last month. And so these are the 4 things that I feel like, outside of just being on the call itself, are things that if you had implemented inside of your business, it'd be very hard for you not to see an improvement in your sales division. If you've liked this video, click the follow button so you can get notified when more videos like this get published. And I'd really appreciate it if you hit share and like. That helps get this video out to more people so that we can help more sales teams improve. And as always, guys, down in the description, there's links to PDFs and downloads and trainings that you guys can see around marketing and sales and business and operations. And those are for you guys, almost all completely free. So tap the link, check out what we have, and we'll see you guys on the next video.